My name is Mark Walsh from Integration Training. This is a video on the body in the media. So by the end of this video, you'll have a better idea of how the media is actually really warping our perceptions of our bodies and some of the negative effects that has. So I run a training company that specialises in working with the body. And as I've learned more over this over the years, looking at the body in leadership, for example, I've become increasingly concerned as to what I see in the media, the images and the postures presented in the media. So I think we'd all agree that the body shapes and sizes in the media are pretty unrepresentative. Tends to be sort of unhealthily skinny women and unhealthily kind of butch, kind of muscly stacked men. Yeah, and definitely been a rise in anorexia, bulimia, young boys trying to be muscly at kind of 12 years of age. It's not healthy or natural. So I think we're all in agreement. What Claudia Schiffer said, she said, "I wish I looked like Claudia Schiffer," in response to the fact that in life she's quite natural, but in all her shoots she's airbrushed and trimmed and all the rest of it. What I'd like to add to the debate is how posture is warped. So I work a lot with movement and posture, and these are equally strange, really, and unhealthy in the media. And I think that it's a bit harder to notice. People aren't always aware of the implications of these in the same way as they are about body weight, for example. So this video is about that. The basic postures I see in the media are often rigid or collapsed. Yeah, these are both tremendously bad for your whole psyche. They create a certain way of being. So it's not just body language here. What's at stake is really how we are as people. They create two different ways of being, one which is aggressive and one which is depressive. Yeah, one which is overly dominant and one which is submissive. The main postures I see are very anxious, so kind of we live in a kind of uptight world. So they're very up, but actually being relaxed, being grounded down is much healthier as opposed to up and unsteady. Yeah. So this isn't just a matter of body language. It's really who we are. So the body is such a key part of who we are that when we inhabit a different kind of body, when we spend all day in a certain posture, it builds who we are, how we behave, how we think even. So this is really critical stuff. In a way, I think this state of anxiety is really fueling us to consume more and more and more, whereas being grounded, saying, I'm okay, I'm secure, I've got my feet on the ground, that as an embodied state doesn't fuel the rampant consumerism. So I think this is how this has evolved. So this is extremely gendered. Women in the media are normally encouraged to be small, yeah? So rather than really take up space, to be kind of small, maybe almost infantile, yeah? So kind of like the Princess Diana, kind of infantile look, which is really degrading and doesn't build their capacities. So I dislike that. And very vulnerable as well, not in the good sense of healthy vulnerability, but in the sense really more of, more weak is perhaps a better word. So they're often showing areas which are kind of vulnerable areas like the neck and the wrist, yeah? And a complete lack of structural integrity. My teacher once said to me, "Do you think she's a model or she's been in a car accident?" Her spine was so misshapen. This would be a sort of fairly, these kind of postures, yeah? The kind of women adopt in magazines, they're meant to be sexy. They're overstating the curves to the point where the body is therefore weak and misaligned, so it's physically unhealthy and it's creating a state of weakness and vulnerability, really. By overstating these curves, as you can see, that different organs are squashed, nothing's aligned, I can't really act with effectiveness, and I feel that compared to if I stand in a more aligned way. So the misalignment there is critical. Yeah, the other thing you'll notice in women is it's encouraged the postures to be unsteady. So either the feet will be together, so kind of like this, yeah? And that creates, again, an unsteadiness. It's not a stable base, just physically, or even the legs crossed. Men, on the other hand, are often encouraged to stand with their feet much wider. This is a kind of stuck, kind of arrogant way to stand, yeah? The stance much wider. Neither is aligned, healthy, balanced. So with men, what's usually encouraged is a pushing, aggressive quality, yeah? This kind of thing. Often it's the arms and the chest that are emphasised, which are kind of like, strong, I am man. It's kind of emphasises power, but power without any groundedness, so it's not real power. It's a kind of a caricature illusion of strength and power. Often the jaw's tense, which is associated with aggression, again, not being relaxed. So, yeah, the eyes are extremely kind of narrow and focused, again, not relaxed. So this, again, is creating anxiety and aggression. So if you were to impersonate all the postures in Men's Health magazine, for example, you would become an arsehole pretty quickly. Yeah, the body postures it's encouraging are not conducive to health, happiness, good relationships. Another critical area is the abdominal muscles. So in nearly every picture, 99.9% of pictures of male and female models, their abdominal muscles are tight, they're held. So what this means is they can't breathe deeply. They can't breathe with their abdomen. Their diaphragm, sorry, can't go down because the abdominal muscles are held. Yeah, which means they have to breathe up here in their chests, which makes, again, people anxious, stressed, aggressive, fearful, these kind of emotional states of being, rather than having a nice relaxed tummy, being able to breathe deeply at the belly. Babies all breathe like that, yeah? This isn't natural, it has been artificially induced, a state of anxiety. Animals breathe that way. Look at your cat, your dog, yeah? Unless they're in heightened, emotional, unpleasant state, they will breathe with their belly, yet it's discouraged. So again, this isn't body language, this is more than that. We're really encouraging an anxious society, which is maybe kind of graspy, that needs to use consumerism to meet its needs, because there isn't that sense of relaxed okayness. Another thing you'll see in the media with male bodies is basically emotionally disconnected. So it'll be kind of like this, it's cool, the idea of being cool and calm, kind of like James Bond, I'm cool, which basically means emotionally disconnected. And how the lack of movement often in the body, so the body just doesn't move at all, rather than the normal kind of emotional ebb and flow of the body. With the amount of media, cameras that are available, people feel like they're constantly on show. Now sometimes, like now, you are actually getting filmed. Most of the time, however, you're not. So that body of performance rather than authenticity is inappropriate, I would say. I remember years ago I lived in the States and I saw it there, really, really extreme there. Just everyone thinks they're in a movie, what's going on? And that's really spread to young people in this country, I'd say, around the world actually now. So the sense of being on show and performing rather than just being authentically ourselves. And I think there's a kind of something very important lost in that. So there you have it. The media is building bodies of aggression, depression, anxiety, emotional disconnection, general tightness, enforcing some really unpleasant gender stereotypes. And I don't like it. So I wanted to call attention to this. I really invite you to share this so this postural area really becomes common knowledge. I think the media, when it does become common knowledge, will be forced to change. For now, I would say really stop buying those magazines, yeah? Men's Health magazine, Vogue magazine, you know who you are. So don't buy those magazines, don't buy into the TV shows that show these postures all the time. And just notice in yourself when you tend to do them. It's hard not to avoid many of them because they're so endemic and we naturally mirror people that are perceived as beautiful or attractive. So yeah, just bringing some attention to noticing that and inhibiting that a little bit so we can get on with being fully human and enjoying ourselves. I really invite your feedback on this. I mean, if you're interested professionally around body and the body leadership, body awareness, then get in touch, www.integrationtraining.co.uk. And I'd also love to hear comments, so maybe you could cut and paste some examples in the comments of some particularly outrageous media. I'd love you to share this. I think once the message is out that media is doing this with posture, once this becomes common knowledge, the media will do it a lot less. Yeah, ultimately they respond to us.